What's up, CFO gang? It's your boy Jay Tuck, and if you are a real football fan, do me a quick favor, subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell so you do not miss out. And now, let's talk ball. What's up, CFO gang? It's your boy Jay Tuck, and today is a day that a lot of football fans sit around Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, whatever you're into, and they're waiting to hear about their team. And what is that? It is the roster cuts, and the Dallas Cowboys have made a few cuts. And I've been talking all day about this, so my voice is almost shot, right? But we still got work to do. And when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys roster cuts, I think a lot of it's predictable. I think a lot of, if you kind of tap into this channel and you're really in tune to what's going on, not a lot of surprises. But I think the number one surprise when it comes to a lot of Cowboys fans is Trayshawn Holden. Trayshawn Holden was waived, right? Trayshawn Holden was waived, and I know a lot of you who watch this channel is probably pissed and upset about that. I know that a lot of you was Trayshawn Holden fans. Now, I really want you guys to understand this. There is a difference between being released and waived, right? If you're released, you get the veteran release, right? That means you can sign back. So a guy that got released today, and I kind of felt this in my gut as I watched the game last Friday because he was playing out in the fourth quarter. I was like, that doesn't feel right, Tuck. Is Israel Mukuamu, right? Israel Mukuamu was released by the Dallas Cowboys, so he has the opportunity to be a free agent and possibly re-sign. Trayshawn Holden, different scenario. He was waived by the Dallas Cowboys, so he has the opportunity to be claimed by another team, and it kind of goes in the same order as you're drafting, right? So if you're the Tennessee Titans, you get first dibs at Trayshawn Holden if you want him. We have to wait and see what happens tomorrow. But, you know, I think a lot of the talking points was around Trayshawn Holden, but also Deuce Vaughn. You know, Deuce Vaughn was a kid that we drafted out of the University of Kansas State. You know, I loved his film coming out of Kansas State, but when it came to Deuce at the NFL level, we just never saw the same thing we saw at the college level. And Jaden Blue, who the Dallas Cowboys drafted this year, he can do a lot of those Deuce Vaughn-esque things, right? So I kind of felt this was going to be the writing on the wall this year for Deuce Vaughn, but he put together some decent tape. We'll see if he gets claimed by another team or will the Dallas Cowboys bring him back. I believe if he is not claimed, he will be brought back to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, your guys' favorite and Phil Maffa, they did something sneaky with Phil Maffa. They put him on IR, right? They put him on a little temporary IR to protect him. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle Phil Maffa. Are they going to put him on IR for 4 weeks? Or are they going to put him for the IR for the full season because they're saying it's a shoulder injury? Brian Schottenheimer, you ain't got to fake the funk with me. You ain't got to lie to me, dog. You ain't got to lie to me. I definitely understand what's going on with Phil Maffa. Now, another interesting cut was Tommy Akingbah-Sote, who the Dallas Cowboys drafted this year. You know, he was a 3-tech kind of hybrid, but the reason why I felt the Dallas Cowboys were able to move on from Tommy is because they signed a guy I was extremely high on back in 2022, and I was excited they brought him in, Perrion Winfrey. Now, there was a little hiccup today, right? There was reports that Perrion Winfrey was going to be released and cut, and Cowboys Nation said, no, we're not doing that today. We not going out like that. We are not going out like that. And they say, oh, wait, oh, we apologize. My bad, right? Perrion Winfrey in a change of events is going to be signed on the final 53 for the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm not sure if there's a hiccup as far as insight, or did they kind of feel the wrath from Cowboys Nation online? Because Cowboys Nation was outraged when they heard that Perrion Winfrey was not going to make the roster, and rightfully so. Another guy who made the roster, James Houston. Right? A lot of people were talking about James Houston. Had a phenomenal camp preseason. He was getting pressure. Now, I'm not sure how things are going to fit when it comes to James Houston. It's really a third down pass rusher, and we have a plethora of those in Dallas. But overall, he actually performed well throughout the course of the camp. He deserved a roster spot, so I'm glad that James Houston made the team. Now, some other cuts you can kind of take a look at as far as being waived. Justin Barron, waived. Jalen Brooks, right? Wide receiver, he was waived. Jalen Marino Cropper was released as well. Also, one that kind of shocked me a little bit. I'm not going to lie, right? You had Elijah Clark out of Syracuse. He was released. Now, he was the highest paid undrafted free agent in the safety position. So, it's going to be interesting to see how the Dallas Cowboys kind of go about that when it comes to Elijah Clark. But I thought he's going to be a guy that make the roster. You have Rivaldo, Fairweather. I know a lot of people saw the miraculous catches from Rivaldo, right? But he was waived as well. So overall, I feel good about what the Cowboys did. There's going to be some guys that's going to be re-signed. My guy, Zion Childress, made the roster. Y'all know I love Zion Childress out of the University of Kentucky, and he's been balling, right? And there's going to be a conversation piece. Was he going to make the roster, or was they going to keep Keemon Hall? I don't know. But Zion Childress was a baller. They couldn't afford to let this kid go because his tape was phenomenal. He would have 1,000% got claimed. So I think you'll have some guys re-sign back. Will Greer, of course. CJ Goodwin, of course. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Buddy Johnson and Izzy. If I'm Izzy, I feel like, okay, I might need to see what else is out there because he's been with the Dallas Cowboys long enough and he just hasn't gotten his shot. Maybe someone can find a role for Izzy Mukuamu because he definitely has the talent. It's just getting the playing time on the actual field to let it all translate. There was conversation about Mozzie Smith being cut. Well, that was false. We ain't got no defensive tackles in the first place. You know what I'm saying? The Dallas Cowboys do not have any defensive tackles in the first place. You can't be cutting no size because when it comes to Mozzie and Jay, you're the only defensive tackles that we have pretty much over 300 pounds. You can't be sending Mozzie off, right? Now, the Dallas Cowboys did have a trade today. They traded Awesome Richards to the Saints, and they ended up getting a 6th round pick. Okay, cool. But what's the problem? That pick is until 2028. That pick is not until 2028, and we might be in spaceships and all sorts of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So ain't no telling what's going on when we get that 2028 pick. But they traded Awesome Richards to Kellen Moore and got a 2028 6th round pick back in exchange. So overall, like I said, the cuts, nothing too crazy, nothing too concerning. Like I said, Deuce Vaughn, I hope he hits the ground running, finds another opportunity. If not, I think he will be brought back in Dallas. Israel Mukuamu is going to be an interesting situation. And I know a lot of y'all, I tried to, Trayshawn Holden, you'll have to just cross your fingers and hope for the best. But I was saying this, Cowboys Nation, because we go through this every offseason. I can't think of a player in recent memory that the Dallas Cowboys waived, they got claimed, and it came back to bite us where it's like, oh my God, he turned to the All-Pro and Dallas Cowboys let him go. That typically doesn't happen. My guy Isaiah Land, who I loved and was kind of frustrated we cut a few years ago, he just got released by the Colts today. So it's like we kind of see these situations. So I like Trayshawn Holden. I feel like the kid has a bright future. Maybe he gets to come back in Dallas, but wherever he goes, he has a, he has a bright future and he can turn up, hopefully not Philly, hopefully not San Fran, anything like that, right? But if he's not cleared and he clears waivers, definitely bring him back because he has insane upside potential, especially with Junior Adams. We only got to see a glimpse of it, so hopefully we get to see more in Dallas, man. So it's your boy Jay Tuck. Let me know down in the comments who are some players that got cut that you're frustrated about. If you're not a Dallas Cowboys fan, that's cool. Let me know what are some players that got cut from your team that you're upset about, and I might try to make some videos so we can claim them and bring them to Dallas. You know what I'm saying? I'm being greedy right now because there's a lot of defensive tackles out there that got cut today. So I'm actually out there doing my homework right now. That's why I look like, I'm just fresh off the street because I've been here in the studio, been here watching a lot of film, getting ready for the college games this upcoming week, just working and grinding. But I had to talk to y'all about the Dallas Cowboys Final 53. So it's your boy Jay Tuck. Comment, like, subscribe. Follow me on all social media platforms at JTuck151. Turn on that notification bell so you do not miss out. I want everyone to stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged. And I guess the deuce is finally loose. Peace.